Hello, welcome to the stream. Man City have beaten Bournemouth 2-1 away from home somehow. Man, I did not have a lot of confidence going into today, but we've done it. That's the main thing. We've progressed to the next round of the FA Cup, and a performance we can somewhat be proud of to some extent. So yeah, look, really big win. We're going to Wembley. We've got to take it a step at a time at the moment, because it's not given we're going to beat Forest. Forest are a good team at Wembley. They're going to be up for it, so you know. Yeah, we've got to look. We're in Wembley now. We've got to make the most of it. We absolutely do, and need to make the most of it. But look, big up everyone who's tuning in. Man, I'm trying to think of where to start today, because man, there's just so many points that I want to make, but we'll jump straight into this. We'll jump straight here. So, player ratings for me. I'm going. Hold on, actually, I might need to do something on my phone. This won't take a second. It's taking a second, to be fair. There we go. The work is done. Anyway, so Edison. What are we thinking for Edison's rating? Other than the goal conceded, which I don't think he can do much on, did he actually get tested? Not really, if we're being honest. I'm going to go 6. I think Edison was fine today. Nunes, I think he was a 5.5. I think he gives away the ball for the goal we concede. He is the direct beginning of that. Kusanov, I give him a 6. I thought he was fine for the minutes he played in the first half. Diaz, I will give a 6 as well. I don't really think I saw anything special from Ruben. Vardiel, I think I'm also going to give a 6. I don't think any of the backliners really impressed me today. No one that's Well, apologies for that. You just completely lost me there for a second. I accidentally closed the thing I was looking at. Anyway, so here we go again. Now then, this midfield, okay, because really, this is what I want to talk about today. Phil Foden, I will quickly do. I think Phil was like a 5.5 today. I don't think he was awful. I just think he was below average, didn't really do anything. So, this is what I want to talk about. This is my biggest issue. I'm just curious, because to be fair, core midfield today was Gundo, Kova, and De Bruyne. Bernardo's a bit more on the right. Our midfield has a combined age of 97. Okay, not counting Bernardo. You put Bernardo on there, it's 127 years old. Bournemouth. Okay, I'm just curious. And we're gonna go off our main three at the moment. Okay, and we're gonna go off Bournemouth's main three. Bournemouth's was combined age of 81. That's a whole 16 years younger than ours. I know that's not quite how it works. Trust me, I do. But the point is there. The point is there today. What I'm trying to say is that these guys are slow. They're just getting on now. And do you know what the funny thing is? Bournemouth actually had a midfield that I think we should be looking to have. Ryan Christie for Bournemouth. He's 30 years old. And today, I actually thought he was solid. I just thought Ryan Christie didn't have too bad of a game. He didn't set the world alight, but he wasn't too bad. Having a 30-year-old in your midfield isn't the issue. I'm not saying exterminate all players above the age of 30. What I am saying is you've got to have youth in there. Not necessarily like all your academy lads, but players in their prime. That's what I'm trying to say. Or people with energy. People that can make up for the energy that you don't possess because you add something a bit different. Like, for example, De Bruyne. Okay, De Bruyne needs to have energetic players around him, in my mind. He needs to have players that are packed with life, like Phil Foden in terms of the age profile. Okay, so De Bruyne ain't got to worry about making silly runs all the way into their box or having to backtrack a ton because he's got players around him that'll do it. Of course, I'm not saying De Bruyne sit at the top of the pitch and don't do anything unless the ball comes to you. All I'm saying is that this is not long term. Okay, and obviously it's not long term due to the age. But let's say even their age is stuck like this forever. You can't keep playing this because teams are going to do this, the basic thing of just making you use your energy. Okay, football games are very, very taxing in terms of your energy. Okay, it takes a lot of energy to play a game of football. Of course, it does. And when all your players are over 30, they struggle on that regard. Okay, they're going to. It's natural. For me, we needed more youth in here. I think the first half would have gone a lot better if we did. But onto the player ratings. I actually thought Gundo was solid today. I think I'm going to go a 7. I was actually impressed with Gundo. I actually didn't think he was bad. I thought he was actually good. Bernardo, I didn't think so much. I think he was a 5. It just wasn't going his way today. Kova, give him a 6. I thought it was fine. Yeah, Gundo, very unlucky today to not have a goal. De Bruyne, give him a 6. Yeah, I think 6 is fine. Haaland, I'm going to stick a 5.5 on him. I know he got a goal, but he needed to get more than one goal today. A penalty missed, a one-on-one shot missed, gets a goal, but every other step along the way, I think it was bumpy from Erling. To be honest, I think it could have been a lot better from Erling today. Not gonna lie. So, subbed. Oh, how do you write down the guy that got subbed on again? Forgot. Nico Riley came on. Now then, I wish I could do player ratings on Nico Riley because I've got to say he's my man of the match. He came on and he changed the game. I'm gonna keep saying this, but if we sell this guy to Chelsea or anyone else in the summer, I'm gonna be livid because I think he's top. I think he's top talent on a plate. It's so frustrating. I feel like we've got an absolute gem on our hands in Nico Riley. So look, for me, Nico Riley, I think we've got to try and give him a chance soon. I'm giving him an 8.5 today because I thought everything he did was good. Defensively, solid, and offensively, he gets 2 assists. So not many more complaints from me than that. I can't really complain. Haaland, shame for the injury. Hopefully he's okay. Last thing I want is a Haaland injury. By the way, today was even more incentive to get Marmoush on the pitch more. Great game from great appearance from Marmoush. Gets himself a goal. It's nice. I think he needed a 2 games in a row in terms of getting goals. I think he needed that, to be honest. I think that was crucial. But look, big ups to all the lads today, because I feel like everyone that got subbed on actually did a good part. Marmoush gets a goal. Grealish, before he came on and was looking threatening. Nico Gonzalez and McAtee kept it steady, And O'Reilly obviously came on, changed the game, didn't he? Now then, what I will say is that I do think we could have won this game by a lot more. Because like I said, the chances we had today were ridiculous. I mean, just look at this. 17 shots for 7 on target. Bear in mind, some of these shots, Haaland placing it over the bar, Haaland heading it wide. Those are 2 shots that probably should have been on target. Gundo hitting the post. Those are close shaves that Bournemouth got today that aren't considered shots on target. So look, for me, this isn't great. 81% passing accuracy is very good for us. So we should really be working on that. But we probably should have won this game about 4-1, I'm not going to lie. I feel like second half we really dominated Bournemouth, which was big from us. I think it partly comes down to Nico Riley. Marmoush, just that added bit for us today. The subs, Nico Riley, man, first real actions on the field, he was looking like a threat, wasn't he? At least in my books, he was. Now then, what I will say is I'm hoping Kusanov's okay. I do not want Kusanov injured, not by any stretch. So let's have a look here. Pep Guardiola does not know the severity of Haaland's injury. Problem sustained against Bournemouth. Love the Emirates FA Cup. Hopefully we can reach final. Comparing the game played against Bournemouth in November, we came here with flip-flops. Came for the holiday against teams that compete. Today we were a team and challenged in football. You have to run. It's not tactics. They're important. But what we missed this season was heart, soul, and the desire that we've always done for many years. This, for me, is as a manager, is the most important thing to recover. Alrighty, I'm trying my hardest every game and trying to do what I can to help. Guardiola told me to help the team and give them width and get high up the pitch. Both assists are really important, so I don't have a favourite. O'Reilly's unbelievable energy that he brought changed the game. Lucky and Bernardo saying energy. You need energy in midfield. If you don't have it, you're shooting yourself in the foot. You absolutely do. 45 minutes played, 2 assists, 30 touches, 10 accurate passes, 4 recoveries, 3 deals won, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 2 touches in the opponent box, 1 interception, 1 accurate long ball, 1 big chance created. There you go. 0 XG conceded in the second half against Bournemouth. Again, showing our domination. Mans has become the first time in FA Cup history to reach semi-finals of the competition in 7 consecutive seasons. Truly? Doesn't feel real. This season. Last season, obviously. Season before that, obviously. Season before that, I think we went out to Liverpool. (18-19). We got to the final and won it, didn't we? Following season, must have. Yeah. Fair play. Yes! Do you think we can go and win the FA Cup? I think we can win the FA. I think we can. It's going to be tough. We got Forest coming up, and then we're playing Palace or Villa in the final if we get through here. So it's definitely not going to be easy. And then, yeah, this is all just commentary. So, yeah, look, this is a huge win today. Nico Riley, get him on the field more because he was superb today. I want him on the pitch more. I'm convinced. I am convinced. I'm so sure that he deserves to play more football. And I don't think I'm the only one. Now, if you're curious on player ratings, this is them. Can't give sub players player ratings, but trust me, Nico Riley's an 8.5, McAtee's a 6, Gonzalez is a 6, Grealish is 6.5, and Marmoush is 7. So there you go. But I do think I'm going to wrap it up there. So look, thank you to everyone that tuned in. Big ups to Talsi for commenting. But big ups to everyone who tuned in. A huge win for City today, and we'll play Forest on don't know when. But we will play them in the semi-finals. That's the main thing. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate the support, as per usual. See you all in the next one.